Sorry, I'm still just getting
Uh-oh.
used to all these,
You had a typo on Twitter.
Did I? What did it say?
We're ging. We're ging live.
We're Ging Live?
Yeah.
We're Ginseng Live, man. Fine, we'll survive. Oh my god, no, why is work blowing me up? Work should not be blowing me up. I told them I was done.
Screw it, we'll do it live.
You said
Okay.
that with far too much, calm.
You know, it's a wonderful thing.
What's a wonderful thing?
Not a call.
Yeah. I'm never on call. I just never stop working. Okay, so, welcome back. Everybody loves Raiken. Last week we didn't have Guaco playing Leah, but he's back this week, so welcome back, Guaco. The rest of the party had a few things to deal with. They needed to finish up the ordeal with the giant that had been produced by the cursed item that Raiken had kept with him since escaping the vault at Garland. That finally came back and bit him, but the party did manage to polymorph the thing into a harmless crab, though it tried not to be harmless, transport it a good distance out of town, and then slay it. In doing so, determined that it was not an actual factual giant, transported from elsewhere. They did try to speak with it, both when it was polymorphed as the druid, and when it returned to its normal form. Larmendus had Ash attempt to speak with it in giant, and it did not show any sign of awareness or intelligence beyond the desire to kill the nearest creatures. And when they did finally subdue it, it vanished entirely. The party returned, the ones that had left, which included Vendar, who was, as he described, had wanted to be doing during this 10-day sojourn in Volinar, has been staying outside the city and working on his survival skills in the woods with Lynn, the tabaxi thief, and the rest of the party was made to contract the carpenters to fix Nalia's roof in the wake of the destruction caused by the giant. At the end of the session, I had the player characters roll their skill checks, the skill challenge, to see what state, to see if they'd be comfortable departing the city at the end of 10 days, and they all rolled very well overall. There were bad rolls, but there were more good rolls than bad rolls. And so as a group, they came together and managed to form a unified front on behalf of the Drow against the citizens within the city who wanted to either kill the Drow or turn them away. And over the course of these 10 days have put in place several resources for the Drow to remain in the city and to continue to integrate with the citizens here. There are a few things we'll hopefully finish up today, determining all the things the party does during those 10 days, and then they can prepare for the next leg of their hero's journey. So, Gawko, you weren't here last week, and so you haven't had a chance, like the others, to dig into the side projects. The other players had a chance to describe what they wanted to do, and I was able to tell them how that went and how it played out, and how it benefited them. So maybe you would like a chance to describe what Leah is working on over the 10 days. I also gave them a chance to make smaller requests, like, I want to do, write this letter, I want to enchant this item, kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember last time I was here, I mentioned, like, the gist of it. Leah, she, during those 10 days, she managed to create, with help of Claire, this after-school debate for the youth to have their say in all of the Drow things. They set aside an abandoned house and turned that into a sort of like a culture house for them to have these debates in. I've been writing the diary about all this, so Tristan has to read and accept and deny some of it eventually, but of course not now. But yeah, she hadn't done much useful besides that, because she managed to get some friends through that, and they've been spending a lot of time just hanging around at an ice cream shop and chatting and doing things.
I see.
So she'll be getting a little breath of freedom there. But she, of course, she paid a lot of attention to any rallies, any like problem with this Chad character. Paying close attention to that.
Yep.
So, and the kids, a lot of them have been starting to become, during those 10 days, a lot of them become more active in this. Some of them are very protesty, others are more silent about it. There's still a lot, especially the younger, that just want to listen to what their parents say. So, but some of them start to turn as well when their parents do.
You mean activist?
Yeah. Yeah, like the teens tend to be very, teens tend to overdo things, and then there's a lot of teens that is being a bit, activists.
Makes sense. You're
Yeah.
having a good influence on them.
Especially one of her friends that is a little too over enthusiastic.
Vanessa?
Yeah, I wrote that. So Leah has also been having to calm her down a few times, make sure that she don't go too far. They don't want to set a bad example.
Makes sense.
By May 25th, you guys I don't know how much time you actually spent together during those 10 days, besides just...
Well, you're together every day for the undercommon lessons and for campaigning together.
Right,
so 2/3 of your day are spent together. It's just pretty much the last third that you're doing your own stuff.
Yeah, so you will notice some changes to Leah eventually. Originally she's wear like sort of like the clothing that is common for in this area, that is very military, main in the colors of red and gold. I think that was it.
Yeah, here is red and gold, yes.
Yeah. But by day 25, May 25, you will notice that she suddenly starts wearing more black. Suddenly she got more of this gothic kind of look to her, and so does the three girls she hang around with. They suddenly start to look scarily alike. And those of you with a keen eye might also notice that she have gotten a tattoo on her left shoulder. Which I don't know how Raiken will respond to. Because the dress is open enough on the shoulders that this is visible. So you don't have to see her undressed to see it, you can see it.
What is the tattoo of? I've forgotten.
It's the tattoo of a black rose.
Ah.
What's with all the black hair lately, Leah?
Tristan brought something. I have to check that out. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's the Black Rose. It's what we call ourselves now. Just the four of us girls. It was Vanessa's idea to dress in black. It's to show our support to the drow.
Hmm.
Raiken does not notice the tattoo.
I'm guessing that's why you have the mark on your shoulder there.
Yeah. It's finally stopped itching.
What mark?
That one, right there. I just kind of point at it.
What is that?
Oh, it's like some sort of body art they do in this town. I think they do it mostly to the sailors, but we arranged to get some to kind of represent us.
Will it go away?
No, that is the idea.
You mocked yourself.
Yeah, so?
I don't know if you are old enough yet for that.
Raiken, if she's old enough to be risking her life to save the world, a little ink isn't going to hurt anyone.
Dang it, Cyrus! Stop making sense!
Yeah,
Out of
chill,
character,
Dad.
Can Dragonborn even get tattoos?
Just chill out, Dad. Don't be just a snark.
What's a snark?
She just rolls her eyes.
I've heard there. Yeah, what is a snark? I've heard something similar called like a Sam or something, but I've heard of it called a snark before.
And it's mainly an old grumpy fellow.
Ah,
I am not old.
Sure.
but he's not denying being grumpy.
I mean, have you met Raiken?
I have. He is definitely grumpy.
The grumps.
Grumps McGurks. Sounded like you needed a lozenge.
There's another thing that the thing I mentioned to you, Tristan, is that something you should just play out while we're at it.
I think that we could skip there since this is still your time to talk about what you do during the 10 days. So I would say that it's, if you want people to make rolls, you can ask for them, but otherwise I would just describe what happens and let them know that that's what happens. It seems to me reasonable that that would be doable.
Yeah. I mean, just need my die. I guess at least I should make a roll, right?
Yeah.
And Raiken, maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you should describe the lead up before throwing some dice around,
Okay.
otherwise people are confused.
Yeah. So this is something that happens during one of the 10 days, like during day 25, not when we're together, kind of like out and about. Raiken is going to find himself having a girl like Leah, think it's Leah, say hey dad and just pass by. Shortly after, she's going to come again from the same direction, say hi dad and pass by. Third time, the same thing happens. She comes from the same direction, say hi dad and pass by.
Why would you do this to your dad?
I guess, Raiken, I would say, by the second one, you could actively make a perception check if you want.
Okay.
Something's
let's
not right here.
see. Well, the first time I did a perception check, I rolled a 1, so let's see what happens. Oh, rolled off. 17.
Okay. 17, I'd say that you first are aware that she shouldn't have been able to come from the same direction in that small amount of time, so now you are paying attention, trying to figure out what the heck just happened, when a third daughter rolls by, and at this point you are able to tell that it is not her, but someone who looks very much like her.
Raiken is going, I guess, to stop the third girl, and he's going to be like, yeah, I saw 2 more of you just pass by. What is going on, and why do you look like my daughter?
She looks incredibly nervous as you, grab her by the arm and begin questioning her. And you see then a fourth one come around the corner, spot this happening and shouts, "Dad's angry!" and runs by.
What? Leah, wait! And
They all just, scatter. They all scatter around you.
So Tristan, would I roll the sleight of hand and a stealth, or just a sleight of hand?
Just the sleight of hand. This is the stealth. This is the setup. Is the stealth.
True. That's 26.
Okay. Yep, you were able to do what you wanted. The 4 of them run around the room, overturning things around you and creating general chaos, and you are completely baffled by this. You have no idea why this is happening to you. The world has suddenly turned against you, and then all of a sudden they run out, and they're just gone. And you are left completely confused.
What just happened?
The world may never know.
The world may never know. Remind me of the day that took on.
25th.
25th. Okay. So this was a few days after the giant incident. So you're aware, Raiken.
Okay.
Lastly, I want to do one final thing during the end of that day.
Okay.
I want to I want to sneak it back in, if you understand what I mean.
I do.
Right after Raiken's gone to bed.
Okay.
I know how quickly he fall asleep.
Oh my gosh, why are you freaking tormenting your father so much?
This one you are going to have to roll the stealth for, since you're sneaking into the room while he occupies it.
Yeah. Where's stealth be? There it is. 16.
Okay, you can roll your perception at disadvantage if you would like, for being asleep.
Alright. Pretty sure Raiken is past the F out because he got a 5.
Alright, so your passive -5 is probably still higher than that.
Yeah, it's 11. Well, -5. That's 6. That would be a 6.
You got a 6. You know that your father is a very heavy sleeper, and if he can avoid getting out of bed even when people are trying to wake him up, he does so. So you have very little fear doing this. And he does not stir or wake up. He just sort of snores loudly in your direction, which makes you pause
Snores.
momentarily.
Every now and then, you hear him say "cord."
Yeah. So then, by the end of May 26th, the day after, before going to bed, she will approach Raiken, this time awake. Dad,
Yes, Leah.
I have a confession to make. Feel kind of bad about this.
Oh no.
Sintaramil told me I should probably be upfront and honest, so I will. I kind of maybe took the book yesterday.
What book?
The book you took from me and said I would get back on my birthday, which you never did, by the way.
Oh, that book. Wait. You took it?
I put it back.
After I assume you read it.
Well, we kind of read it out loud.
We?
Black Rose, the girls wanted to see it. It was funny. It was funny though. If you did the funniest voices. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. I should have just asked you.
Well, I did say I would give it back to you on your birthday, and I didn't. I'm afraid to ask what you thought of the book.
It's very rude.
Yes, very rude. Terrible, terrible book. You should not read those books.
Well, gotta learn somehow, right? But better reading it than doing it.
Oh god, please don't make me think about that. It would break my heart.
I promise I won't. It's no, that thing is too gross.
You should try it before you knock it.
Vindar, be quiet.
Why are you in Raiken's room?
Doesn't have to be. His perception is crazy.
I was through the door. I was just walking by.
No, you're out in the forest.
Thin walls, Nalia's like, no, they're not.
I just like these trap.
Have you got the shortwave radio box over there, Vendar, since you're so distant from the rest of the group?
I do, actually.
Who's got the other one? Who'd you give it to?
I think I have the other one.
Yeah, I
He's
think
at
Sarah
fault.
does.
Just in case.
So Cyrus is just holding all of the garland items, apparently.
Pretty much, yeah.
The grenades are with
I have the grenades.
Vendar. I was
Yeah.
like, what's this fucker?
Both Wendar and Raiken have the guns.
The rope box is currently with the Temple of Ione in the city, but is usually in Laramendis's possession. I don't know who usually has the telekinesis gun.
I have that. I'd happily give it up to somebody else if somebody else was called onto it. I've got too much of it.
At some point, these things are just too big, even if they're not too heavy to carry.
Yeah.
The telekinesis box is not small.
Okay. Someone else want to hold on to that?
It's the size and shape of the gravity gun.
Ah. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Because it's the gravity gun.
Do somebody else want to hold on to that?
You can always just put it in the bag of holding.
Okay.
I'm wondering, due to all of this that Leah is doing to Raiken, should I roll for heart attack?
I mean, you always could. I can't stop you. You can also roll for heartbreak if you want.
No, she didn't break his heart. Just giving him a heart attack.
In her rebellious teenage years, she doesn't need her father.
Oh, Raiken was not ready for this.
Are we ever?
What would Tatsuya think?
Probably would have bought her another copy of the book.
Yeah, probably.
Don't know.
Is it the original book or is it the companion book?
I believe it's the original book. I thought you had the companion book.
I wasn't sure if we had a copy of the original book.
The original book you got from the Beholder in
Oh yeah, because the
Raiken.
temple didn't want it,
Yeah.
so we held on to it. Yeah, okay.
Like, we have more than enough body romances for our shelves.
At one point, Lara Mendes is in the library at Nalia's and is just like, wait, there's a sequel?
Yeah.
Well, it's been 100 years. I would think there's a sequel by now. Very popular in its day. Right, so I think that's enough hijinks there. The other thing to cover before the end of the 10 days is the items people want to try making. Nalia has made the group aware, one by one in some cases, that with the instruction she received from Nervar, she is able to turn your Residuum into usable items, and this, came most forcefully when she insisted on destroying the cursed belt and replacing it with a similar, not cursed version.
So, shall I start?
Sure.
So, Cyrus would, at some point during the 10 days, approach the group to ask about this. With our I suppose, with Nalia's new abilities to create magic items, I think it would be prudent for us to make at least one, if not more, items oriented around, dragon slaying. I've consulted her about this, and it would be it would be somewhat expensive to make one. About, what was it, Tristan, 35,000?
I think it's 40 at the end of our discussion.
Yeah, it was 40 by the end of it, but there was a cheaper version too, in case this one's too much as far as the group's concerned. So about 40,000 gold's worth of our supply to make them.
40,000 total or 40,000 each?
Each.
And we would want to make 7?
Well, I don't know about 7. We certainly don't need one for Yukikaze. He'll be having a much better version if things work out the way they're supposed to.
What exactly does it do?
It's effectively a +2 magic weapon that helps you resist breath weapons by giving you a +2 saves and giving you 5 points of damage resistance.
I did not say it was magic.
What?
I didn't say it was magic. It says it's a +2 to hit and a +2 to damage. It doesn't say magic.
Okay. Sorry, I guess I assumed since it's a magic item.
I mean, yours was what we talked about was an implement, so it wouldn't matter because you're casting spells from it. Those are magic.
Okay. So then what would it be like if someone were to make a weapon version?
Oh, 150,000.
Okay.
Jesus.
That's very different.
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it.
Okay, so
Maybe in the future.
So scrap the idea for making weapon versions, but for spell versions, it's 40,000. It would be useful for either, me, Laramundus, Leah, maybe Jebel.
I mean, don't we have like 1.5 million golds worth?
We do, but if we wish to try and replicate something like any of Bahamut's artifacts, which would be the most useful things against the dragons, it might take most, if not all of it, to do so. That's just my guess. I haven't actually asked Nalia. Which is why I'm reserved in doing this. But as to outline what it does, it is a spell focus that gives +2 to hit, +2 to damage, +2 spell save DCs. It would help the caster resist 5 points of damage from breath weapons, along with giving them +2 on saves. And on a critical hit, it gives them an extra D6 or an extra D12 against dragons, if I'm reading it right.
I can say from my end, there is no item that I'm attuned with that I feel comfortable parting with. So I wouldn't want this.
Okay. What about you two? He says, gesturing towards Jebel and Leah.
Leah's muted.
Oh, sorry. What?
The magic item I've just mentioned, how would you, would you want one?
I might have zoned out.
Tristan, can I just copy paste it into the chat?
Yeah, do that. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. It's been a very active week.
Do that. That's weird. It won't let me copy it for some reason. There we go. One second. I ended up getting split, so I need to. So I just put it in the Snark chat. And I am curious, like, it is my belief that we should have at least one, if not more, of these to try and help in our fight against the dragons. And so I'm asking if either Leah or Jebel would also want one, and if the party would be okay with how much it would cost. With how you attack Leah, I think it would be most beneficial to you, actually.
Really?
Well, out of character, you fire multiple bolts, you get plus damage. That plus damage is applied to each bolt. Whereas I attack with a single attack.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be a weapon.
No, it's specifically for casting spells. That's why I'm asking the spellcasters.
Right, yeah. So it can be in form of like a ring or something?
It's a spellcasting focus. So it would be a wand, it would be a staff, it would be
Ah,
mouse. It's not working.
in that case I could get a new wand, I guess. It seems very useful. Just gonna have to check my...
And what about you, Jebel? What do you think?
I think I'm getting my armor remade. And I was asked for a staff, and if they both require attunement, then I'll be full, so...
Okay. So, what's this about a staff? Are there other things getting made?
I have a present getting made.
I have a new belt getting made.
So, do you guys have any idea what the price points on these things are going to be?
Mine costs 75,000.
I wasn't told.
I have no idea.
Perhaps we should take this up with Nalia, because it sounds like we're planning to spend a lot, if not the majority, of our supply.
I mean, that's the idea. you know, you have a better idea of what you're going up against, and you have a large amount of resources you are capable of spending now. So now the choice is to spend it now, you know, or potentially forever hold your peace.
Fair enough. I would just
Not to say you won't come back, but you know, there's always a possibility.
Which is a fair point. I am just curious. If we said, like, if we were to spend very little, would it ever be possible for us to try and replicate an artifact?
Nalia hopes so. It would be very expensive.
But we have no way to know.
Not
Like,
without
what the price
trying,
point would
and the forces that make those items come from the gods themselves in some cases, so while she's hopeful, given the power of the magic from Naravar's world, and the raw energy that is Residuum, she thinks it should be able to be done, but she can't guarantee it until she tries.
So,
Does she think she can figure out how to create Residuum?
Right now, your best way of creating Residuum is disenchanting items. She's hoping she can figure out how to create Residuum from the shackle that was taken from Cyrus' neck.
even if there's a way to safely drain magic from something, there's a chance I could sacrifice some of my magic, so long as it's not permanent, to make more residuum, but that will take time for her to learn.
Yeah, she would confirm that and tell you that the item as it is now would permanently remove your magic.
Yeah. And that's not something I wish to do.
It does remind you that you're lucky you didn't sustain any permanent effects and from the last time it was used on you.
Indeed. So, alright, then I guess alright. Then I guess I don't know about you guys, but does the idea of trying to eventually replicate an artifact similar to that of one of Bahamut's artifacts specifically, is that something you wish to try and save for, or should we just spend what we have and on what we know will work?
I mean, the stuff we've asked for so far doesn't sound like it's going to use that much of our reserves.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I would ballpark an artifact probably somewhere around the 1 million mark. That would be my guess.
So that would still give us $500,000 to spend if we wanted to save for that. I mean,
There
I'd
would
say-
also probably need to be tests and things done to figure things out before actually making an artifact level item.
yeah, and us getting some magic items will give Naya a chance to learn about how she does it and stuff. Get her some experience in making new shit.
Like, for instance, what I have the forefront of my mind is that if Yukikaze continues on his path towards being Bahamut's champion, he'd be better off having a second one of Bahamut's swords, as it is his preferred fighting style. But, again, this is a very big decision, so I'm curious if the group thinks it's worth trying to save for, or if we should just spend it on what we've requested.
I mean, I really want. I'd really like to have that Dragon Slayer wand. That sounds like a very useful thing to have. And I haven't asked for anything yet.
To be fair, I didn't ask for a new belt. It was taken from me.
Your old belt broke the building.
Yes.
Minor technicality.
No, it's a
Not minor.
major design flaw.
Speaking of which, have we gotten the bill for that? Or is that next?
Has Raiken got the bill for that?
No, we have not gotten the bill yet.
Okay. So, I still haven't really heard any responses from you people. Do you think saving's worth it, or should we spend it? I see logic to both, so I could go either way, but I want to know what you people think. We're in this together.
If everyone is
I
as
mean, this.
kitted out as they desire, what is the cost that we're looking at? How much of the residuum will be gone?
Well, from what we know, it's 90,000 for the 2 Dragon Slayer focuses, 75,000 for Vindar's gift, you said?
Yeah.
So that's 165,000, plus whatever it takes for the belt, Jubble's armor, and Jubble's staff.
And the stuff we use for the see in the dark.
Right.
I wouldn't
and
mind a new battle axe.
And the 12,000, I think it was, for the 3 night vision items.
You couldn't have a battle axe, the belt, your armor, and the ability to see in the dark.
Damn it! I will go blind.
Not a good idea.
That battle axe would be worthless if you go blind.
Not necessarily.
You're better off with what you have. Perhaps, if there's time, when we return from the Underdark, we could get you an axe in place of the night vision.
Where was the stat for those, say... I think I put them on everybody's sheet, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I know that you had it on D&D Beyond, so I wouldn't add it to my sheet. The Bracelet of Night Eye.
Yeah.
Yes, like I said, I remember I created the item.
I'm not opposed to using it up for an artifact or not, because it does not really concern me other than someone else being able to help out more if need be.
It sounds like if we keep it to our current expenses, we may still have enough for an artifact should the time come. So the question is more or less, do we have any additional expenses we want to tack on?
We didn't know a large portion of the costs associated with the items that are being requested by people in the group. We also don't actually have any clue as to the cost, residuum-wise, of something of that kind of power.
True.
True, we
Yeah,
could
I
save
mean,
all
it could
those
be it's like
humans
5
to
million.
to afford it.
Which is entirely possible. Which is why I'm not trying to make this decision myself, and I'm making sure that this is something brought up to the group.
I'm not against it because I want us to succeed. But for me, I will hopefully our quest down there to get Bahamut's weapons. I don't need anything myself. I'm hoping.
Well, except for your Bracelet of Night Eye, that is.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to freaking get my freaking brain sucked out.
No, you'll only really need that while we're in the Underdark. So if you do get a magic item, like a magic axe, you could just not use it until we get back out of the Underdark.
Magic axe? What the hell are you talking about?
Or that was Raiken that wanted the axe, wasn't it?
Is it now? It's contagious. Tristan out of the game. This is contagious.
Everything's contagious. It's spreading.
Just like the Rona.
So, well, even so, the night thing will be good at nighttime also, so it has its universal uses. Unless it specifically only works in the Underdark.
Unless what works in the Underdark?
He was saying that the Bracelet of Night Eye would still be useful unless it only works in the Underdark.
Yeah.
Bracelet of Night Eye. No, the Bracelet of Night Eye gives your anybody who has it attuned, equipped and attuned, has dark vision out to, I think it was 60 feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's always going to be useful.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You,
so
you
yeah.
could choose to stop using it if you found something you wanted more than dark vision out to 60 feet, but...
Yeah. But no, I'm saying this as that my whole thing was, I'm not against it because, you know, I'm worried about everyone's survival, so if people want to do it, I support it. It's my statement.
Alright. So let's...
So I'm having a new bow made, so I can have this one disenchanted. That might give us some extra residuum.
So it sounds like we're up for the spin it version since there's too many unknowns with the artifact.
There is one other thing about the artifact. Nalia will need to be studying an existing one in order to have any chance of creating a new one. Tremendous looks at Yukikaze.
Wait, what? My brain just gave out of me.
Laramentis just brought up the point that in order to be able to make a new artifact or have a chance at making a new one, part of the necessity is that she has one to study. To see how it was made. And then he looked very pointedly at Yukikaze, more specifically at Yukikaze's armor. If the goal is to have an artifact that is more likely to be a newly created artifact that is more likely to be useful in a similar fight capacity as Bahamut's equipment, then it seems reasonable that that might be a good one to study from. And if that was the case, is there something that you might want made to help offset that reduction in capacity?
That is a fair fact. But our residuum is finite. Like, there's no telling if we'll ever come across it again, because not only it's possibly able to make stuff with it, but we don't know how to create it yet.
Well, we can get it from disenchanting items, so if we find magic items that we don't want to use, we can disenchant them.
Oh yeah, we did figure out that. I do remember that now.
I am capable of performing that ritual.
I have a question. I expect the answer is no, but for the purposes of that ritual, would something like an ever-burning dagger count as enchanted?
Yup.
Probably wouldn't give us much, but
It would likely give back an extremely small amount of residuum, I would think. But if you wanted to find all of the rubies in Amaranta, spend the effort to convert them into torches to then destroy, that might be one way of producing residuum.
I was mostly curious if it would count. So while it is next futile, it is technically possible for us to...
Does that mean we could have turned that ingot that Had alarm on it into Residuum.
I guarantee it would have been worth less in Residuum than it was as an ingot.
So I'm hearing we'd get like a grain of sand.
Yeah, probably not much.
I don't even want to try and figure out, like, if it's a grain of sand or a portion of a grain of sand. Like, what's the difference there? I will give a gold piece conversion. You get this many pieces of gold worth of Residuum.
2.
And if you want to do the division of 500,000 per pound to figure out how heavy in Residuum that is, and then compare that to sea sand, you can figure out how many grains you got.
It's not worth doing the math. Alright, so I guess that mostly leaves it to Kinkaze then, if he wants to leave the armor, or if he wants to keep it.
You know, it's for the better of the party and the world. So yeah, I will.
It's up to you. You're likely the one who will stand to benefit if we make one.
For the party and the world, so I will.
Okay, so then let's go find out how much all of this costs. So, how much residuum are we spending for the listed magic items here, Nalia?
I mean, I'm looking at the chat, and I'm not seeing listed magic items.
I guess we can list them out here. I shall. Oh, come on.
Wondering why what you copied is different from what I see when I go to the pin.
Because I also took the part that was added later on, like a couple sentences down.
Oh. I'm just not seeing the 40 that's up there.
Yeah, well, it's 45 with this version.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Slayer, X2, Staff. Armor.
Tristan,
Yes.
do you see my most recent message?
Boot me from the voice.
Since I don't have control over the mouse, I don't want anything like there to be feedback or anything. I don't know what happens for Discord when somebody.
Is there
I
any?
will move you.
So there's Vendar's bow, Jebel's armor and staff, and the 2 Dragon Slayer focuses. Is there anything else I'm missing?
What? I'm disenchanting my bow.
I thought you said you were making a new bow.
I am making a new bow. It's not magic, though. Not with Residuum.
Oh.
He found another way.
Yeah.
Now those other strings will finally come in handy.
Okay.
Exciting.
So besides Vendar's gift, Jebel's staff and armor, and the 2 Dragon Slayers, is there anything else?
I mean, the sea and the dark things.
Yeah, but you already took the residuum off the list for that. So
There
I'm
was
not gonna-
the belt of strength for Raiken.
Right.
Forgetting the belt, the most important thing.
How much was the rings?
4,000 apiece. But you were told to remove it last time.
Yeah.
so-
But I want to calculate to see if everything is correct. So how
Okay.
much? 4,000 apiece, and we made 7?
3.
3.
2 for the Dragonborn, 1 for me.
What?
Oh, wait,
no,
there's
it's
one for me
4.
too. Yeah.
4. So then...
2 Dragonborns, halfling, human. Half elf doesn't need it, the elf doesn't need it,
Well, I remember the total number being 12,000, so perhaps I have
the
my...
gnome doesn't.
Neat.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct. The gift from Rendar is already taken out from the total.
Okay. then I
Yeah,
will check.
he told me in private chats. I don't know, but the 9th of July.
Yeah, it was just after not last week's session, but the session before that.
So I had already calculated it. I just wanted to make sure I had calculated everything correctly.
Alright, so I just need to know what the staff and the armor do. And then I need to think about the cost of Raiken's belt, because very strong. Let me check.
Very strong.
Look at my items list. Belt of Giants.
It gave +2 to strength, except for some reason D&D Beyond wasn't doing that. It was only giving +1. Or there was some kind of mix-up between it and the armor to where it was 1 less than what it should have been.
Things generally get capped, so it might be that there's a programmed cap in D&D Beyond that I have to figure out how to disengage. +2 to strength without limit. Let's say... $80,000.
$80,000 for the belt.
Mhm.
Yikes.
Magic is expensive, and those are things that don't have limits. That aren't just like, yeah, this sets you at 19 or sets you at 21.
Right, yeah.
I think the one I'd have to check. But no, I can't check. The ones in 5th edition that set you at a thing are findable, but it doesn't tell you what they would cost if you were to try to buy or exchange them, because there is no magic item exchange in 5e. So I've had to hodgepodge this system together, and I'm doing my best to balance it using my experience in 4 different D&D systems.
Nice.
So bear with me. I will do my best to make it fair.
Alright, list should be up to date with prices, and I've scratched out ones that have been subtracted from the total.
Okay, so I just need Jibble to tell me what that staff do.
What is something good that stars can do?
They can
They
give
can-
you a plus to your casting modifier.
Which,
Yeah.
and a plus to your spell save DCs.
If
Usually
you
a good
wanted,
thing
you
for
could,
implements to do.
yeah, if you wanted, you could just make your staff a Dragon Slayer staff. You just slap an X3 on there.
Yeah. That is a quick way to do it if you wanted just the same thing, but if you wanted something different, we'd have to talk a little bit. The armor. Armor.
Please now. Spell.
Alright. You just want the armor to be a straight +2, Jeb? Same as what you're wearing, but without falling apart?
Yeah, I don't know what else can you add to armor. I've been looking up these things and I just...
You could plug in, damage reduction to elements of some kind. You could make it so that it gives you a buff to a physical, skill in some way. Like, makes you better at sneaking or something like that.
I like to look at the, other magic items, kind of, get ideas,
Yeah, I mean, think about the, Hobbit's elven cloaks that let them blend in, that, is advantage on stealth checks kind of stuff. Things that the armor could do. It could be something interesting. It could be, return damage, make it thorny. So if you take a melee hit, you deal damage back.
Yeah.
For example.
What is something that makes sense for a...
You could give it, some kind of really powerful ability that runs off of charges, like cancel a critical hit once a day, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, does some kind of effect on the battlefield once a day, or something like that. I'm glad most of this got figured out outside of session, so thank you to the people who worked with me over the last couple weeks.
I meant to, but I just completely forgot.
Okay, I figured not everybody would get around to it, so I'm glad for the people who did. Imagine if I had to work with all 7 of you in one session. Yuki.
Mm-hmm.
There's, Isle of Magic. Is there anything you want done with it? For you? Your swords are being repaired. You've got the 1+1 magic short sword.
I also have the sword I can't use, or won't use at the moment.
You could have that one put on display or disenchanted and have something like it created.
I thought we had the discussion that I can't make anything really like it, and it wouldn't give much residuum, and I was debating on...
It wouldn't give much residuum because it's cursed. Cursed items don't cost as much to produce because they're bad. Basically, the cost of an item is proportional. It's directly proportional to its power, and power is based on limitations. So a thing that has limitations has limited power. So that's, even if it's a high bonus, it's a static one. That'll make it cheaper. But if it's something like the Belt of Strength, which had no limits, that's very powerful, so it's very expensive. But a +1 magic sword wouldn't be, it's very versatile, so that makes it more expensive, but it's also only usable by people who are skilled in it, really. So that makes it that it's also very basic, if it's just a +1 magic, so that's going to keep its price relatively low by comparison to some of these other things that are a bit more specific. things adding losses, weird places, saving throws, reducing damage.
I wonder if he just wished to make Residuum. I'll need to find that out when Cyrus is older.
At level 9, you can use Wish to remake the world.
Pretty much.
Probably never be able to use Wish again after that, but you can do it.
It just depends on how you use it.
If you use it to do something other than replicate a spell effect, you run the risk of never being able to do it again.
I believe it's spell effect or creating an item under a certain value.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a little more. Oh.
This is also an otherworldly ritual, so it's also lending certain aspects of the world it comes from to the products.
Thus, the extra damage on a crit being dice as opposed to like a stack number or something.
Mm-hmm.
And just to clarify, I assume it's doubled and then added, not added then doubled.
It's neither. It's just added. If you crit, you double all your normal dice, and then you add this extra die.
Yeah, that was the first option.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were referring to the whole pool. I thought you were just talking about that last die. Yes, it's doubled and then added. You're correct.
Yeah.
My bad.
Just figure I'd try and clarify that now before it came up. I was pretty sure that was the case, but, it doesn't hurt to be sure.
Yep. Yeah, it actually was something that I had forgotten about in 4th edition, was that having a +1 weapon, just a +1 magic weapon, meant that when you crit, you dealt an extra 1d6. And then
So what? You asked if there's something I wanted.
Yeah. You've got, well, that's what the discussion that's been going on at the table here. Everybody's basically been sitting around the table saying, okay, we have this pile of magic that Nalia can turn into magic items. We have all these cursed items that we like, but we don't want to use anymore, especially in the wake of Raiken.
The Rikening.
Well, no, I get all that. I'm just pondering to myself, speaking out loud. You guys asking me if I want to make something. Thinking strategically, I'm going to be on the front lines, and Nalia needs the armor of Bahamut to study, so I'm speaking out loud as a character. I probably should be smart, and probably should cave and request some kind of maybe mildly better than typical breastplate, at least. So that if that is something we can make.
You want to make armor, even though you're wearing the best armor ever.
Oh no, I thought I was
second best armor ever. Thank you.
I thought I was handing that over.
I mean, you gave Nalia something even better.
Wait.
Well, it was brought up by Laramindis that if we're going to try and make an artifact, that you'd need one to study.
Mm-hmm.
And then he pointedly looked at Hikaze and said, probably yours if you want to replicate something like Bahamut's artifacts.
So that's what I was giving up, was the armor. Right? Am I not putting 2 and 2 together?
I mean, it's possible that that's a part of the discussion from today I missed.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was when you were in the midst of a typing storm.
Okay.
I think you were talking to me.
Alright, so yes, that's why I'm posing this question, is because that was posed to Tristan. It's because Nalia's going to have the armor, we're going to the Underdark, I'm going to be in the midst of battle, I probably should be smart, and probably should do armor over a weapon because I'm going to be in the fray.
Okay. So you're going to leave the armor of Bahamut here for her to try to replicate your Residuum.
Yes, and I want to request to the party, since I'm going to be in battle, I have okay swords. I don't want to use up too much of our magic right away, so I would like to suggest probably something of a moderately better than typical breastplate.
So, plus 2 full plate, maybe?
Or it could
Or
be a
adamantine full plate.
just something that's a little better than usual. Doesn't have to be blow our mind, there goes all our residuum in like one go kind of thing.
I mean, as far as magic items go, I feel my last two suggestions were pretty reserved.
Could always blow it all in one. Something awesome.
But I have the armor that's going to be coming back to me, hopefully, Tristan. You
could make a sword that's awesome.
That is like my heart.
We're literally going down there to get his super awesome sword.
No, see, that's my... No, you can never have enough swords. Shut up.
That is Yukikaze to a T.
Oh yeah.
Never have a sword. Shut up. That made my day.
So, if we have a decent amount of residuum left, I wouldn't say no to a sword, but I want armor because I'm worried about being the center of attention because I want to watch out the backs of my comrades, and I'm gonna be in the fray. So, armor first, sword second.
So this armor that you wish created, what do you want it to do? Basic or complex?
Not really an armor aficionado. I'm trying to think. Yukikaze, if the group's asking me this question, he's gonna need a second to think.
Okay. Suggestions could be made if that's desired.
I am totally up for suggestions.
Well, if you want just something simple, something that's going to be replaced, just getting a simple, like, plus whatever number enhancement to it could be good. You could try and make yourself resistant to certain damage types.
I probably should do you magic people's thing with magic, because, that's... It's gonna be smacking me around if I'm trying to run in at something,
Hey, you would want a Spellbreaker.
Maybe something that ups my defense just a bit, but gives me good magic defense. I'm thinking, because aren't Drow are they a little more magic schooled than they are combat? Like, I don't know. I know what we talked about their culture.
Drow naturally have some magic, as you would have known from the lessons with the Drow.
But okay, so following my, are they more? Did I say they're more combat oriented physically or magically? Just with my knowledge,
the males are all physical, except for their natural magic casting ability.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Female priestesses have divine magic granted by Lolth.
Okay.
Will be very spell-based.
And will that hurt like... Am I thinking to myself, is that going to hurt like fuck?
I mean, when was the last time you fought a cleric?
Actually, I don't remember the last time I fought a cleric. I fought a lich.
Remember in our first session when
It was right after Cyrus joined, when we were near the river in a dome of protection, and I couldn't blast anything after their cleric dropped our Daemon's tiny hut.
That cleric was fun.
Did I get hit by that, though? Alright, sorry, I'm dragging things out here.
for suggestions on defense against spell. Perhaps something that just increases your saving throws, or maybe something that grants you like the rogue feature of evasion.
Ooh, evasion might. Well, I don't want to experience that again. So anything would save me from acid.
Replicate the rogue's uncanny dodge feat or evasion feat, when it is, that halves if you attack coming as a reaction. Very expensive, unless it was limited to charges.
I was thinking of the other one, evasion, which lets them, take half on failed saves and nothing on successful saves.
That would be 10 times as expensive.
Yeah.
Alright, let's do just something that is a bit stronger defensively wise with a bit of resistance. Probably more of a... I don't know if it... When you said Spellbreaker...
Something like it has charges that you can expend to cancel spells that hit you.
Okay.
Basically giving you either counterspell or, like, shield, that kind of a thing.
Okay. And this is knowledge I'm going over with Nalia if she...
Yeah, you'd basically be, like, talking out what you want, and she'd be trying to come up with formulae that would produce this item. It's how she's been giving you the prices beforehand, because she has to work out the magic that creates it first.
And with the even though it's a Spellbreaker armor piece, would it probably have a little bit better defense than breastplate, or...
Yeah, you could still make it +1 or +2. +3 if you were feeling like a big spender.
I like the idea to dodge a spell.
Can't go by the prices in 4th edition for armors because they went up to +6.
What if I did something that was kind of like an elemental resistance, like a static? Is that something crazy? You're saying about static versus activated?
Something that's always going, something that's a passive bonus, is more expensive than something that's activated on a limited charge. So if you had, like, 2 charges a day to be able to cancel spells that target you, that would be expensive, but less expensive than something that just gives you bonuses to all your saving throws.
Alright, I think I would, with the discussion with Nalia, I'll say, I'm liking the idea of the Spellbreaker breastplate. Let's do that.
Okay.
Probably a +1, just so we're not going crazy.
Alright, just remember you're shedding a +3, I think. What is the armor behind it? I think it's a +3. Back.
Also, do you specifically want a breastplate for some reason?
It is what he was wearing in the desert.
Yeah, it's the armor I'm most familiar with, and also I keep getting irritated where I'm always getting engaged in instances where I don't have time to put on my frickin' armor.
That's happened
Never
twice.
take it off. Live in it.
I keep getting sick of getting frickin' like, oh hey, there's a giant in the bedroom! Have a nice day.
Nalia goes, what if you made it summonable?
Wait, that's a thing?
He, like, points at Raiken.
Raiken's magical girl armor. You could be a magical girl too.
I thought that was just because he had a giant boner for Cord.
Don't take my shtick.
Too late, already took.
But wouldn't that take an outrageous amount of residuum also?
Yes, it is a ridiculously powerful effect.
Yeah, so no, Nolly, I don't think that would be a great idea. I'm digging the. Why don't we up it one more? We'll do the Spellbreaker +2. Is that not going crazy? You feel?
Let me do that quick calculation.
It doesn't matter. Raiken would still be the best magical girl. He was the OG. Everyone else
You
just be
afraid of some
copying.
competition? Let's all be magical girls.
I've been using. Given price for Jebel's arm.
Nope.
Oh, because
No,
you
'cause
haven't
I'm-
told me everything you wanted to do.
No, I'm still looking at something here. I was trying to find what I was. I can't remember. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's 100. For the Spellbreaker breastplate. $110,000. Screw even numbers. Or, you know, round numbers. I see this as a good thing. So, have you thought about what you wanted, Jebel? Between the staff and the armor. Start with the armor. I hope that's simplest.
Well, the +2.
Okay.
And doesn't come up. What's something interesting for armor?
Gotta go with a simple, just plus.
Those Night Eyes were 16,000 in all, since they were 4,000 a pop.
I thought I'd remember the total coming to 12, and I misremembered they were a pop. Okay, I will edit that.
I had come up with their individual price and given that to yeah. And then it was just multiplied by the number you needed. +2 armor.
What?
Protect you from a particular element in a good way. Return damage. Cancel a crit.
Lets you cast shield once per short rest.
I was thinking of. There's something about difficult terrain, canceling difficult terrain in nature.
Nature is broad.
So in a natural environment outside of cities.
Non-cities.
Difficult terrain wouldn't really affect the wearer.
That'd be expensive because it's very broadly applicable, just so you have a heads up. I'm not saying it puts it out of your price range, I'm just saying that that will be, like, a substantial portion of the cost is just that enchantment.
Okay.
say, +2 armor with no bells or whistles is like 80,000. With Yuki's charges, it may have brought it up to 110. Yours would be like 150.
Ouch.
You know how we had to buy clothes? No, that's probably not terribly important.
Elemental resistances in a meaning exposure resistance.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be nearly as expensive as the other one. No. I mean, it's good unless because you mean it would be like survival armor. It keeps you alive in dead cold and super hot.
Yeah.
I'd honestly put it at, about the same as the canceling difficult terrain. That's pretty good. Survivalist armor.
Does I can't remember how the mechanics work. You know how you can have resistance to poison? Does it work with disease as well? Do you get resistance to disease? Or is do you get roll for disease or
You could get resistance. Paladins get resistance to disease of their class
Can't they also
abilities.
just cure disease? Like, couldn't Raiken just cure any disease anybody gets?
Sorry, I meant immunity, Sam. Thank you.
go with the what did I say? The environmental thing?
Environmental thing?
Yeah, the brain not working.
Survivalist.
Yeah.
Survivalist +2, 150k?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
150k.
We have crossed the 500,000 mark.
I got worried for a second there.
What do you mean?
I thought that you were much closer to out. When you started announcing it, I thought you were going to tell me that you were like down to your last bit. Half.
Well, for people that were, since the plan for leaving his armor behind was in hopes of being able to make a new artifact, it does mean we're getting close to the point we were hoping to save.
Well, the question then becomes the stuff we're making, what's our loss for re-breaking it down if we need to?
Exorbitant. Nalia gives you the estimate at nearly 80%.
Loss, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still take that into account, though. That worst case scenario.
You can get 20% back.
For each item, yeah. Or, yeah, 20% of the total, yeah. Spent.
But this is why you have so much. Armor of Icy Hot.
Is that good for back pain?
I mean, it's supposed to be survivalist armor, so it's about surviving the environment, the environment, but whatever. That staff, Jib?
Yeah, what can you add to staffs? You can add the plus, what was it?
Plus to hit, plus to your spell save DCs, and the version that, the other spellcasters, or two of the other spellcasters got, gave them extra damage on crits against dragons, as well as some damage reduction against dragon breath weapons.
I'll just reread that. Where is that? Is that in the snark?
It's just up above. Scroll up a little. Requires attunement, plus 2 to hit, plus 2 to spell safety, plus 2 to damage. On crit does plus 1d6 per plus, so 2d6. And versus dragons it does plus 2d12. You resist 5 points of damage.
So the plus 2 to hit, plus 2 to spell save, plus 2 to spell save, plus 2 to damage, that's just across the board.
Yeah. I think that should be 55. I never updated the price down below after I updated the price up above, because it was originally 30 and 45, so it should go to 40 and 55.
Okay. I will update that.
I will update it. That's my fault.
And the people who get that, are they getting anything extra on top of that, or is that just what they're getting on the
That's what the Dragon Slayer enchantment for this is. That becomes their spellcasting implement.
Yeah, but I mean, like, has anyone added anything to it? So it's that plus something personal?
No, not so far.
Hmm.
You want to? Or did you want to swap something about it to something else? Maybe you're not entirely focused on killing dragons yourself. You want to do something else?
Oh, no. Focus killings. Not super focused on dragons. That's just a thing. If I got, let's see.
Larry, you said there was nothing you wanted to give up for anything like this, so he wasn't interested in getting anything for himself.
Right. All of my attuned items are ones that I'm perfectly content with, because it's the headband that gets me 21 and the book, which he is not parting with, and Ash, who he is also not parting with.
It looks like Jibble's trying to spend more than the rest of the party combined.
It's only going to cost 1.125 million.
I think we have exactly enough for that.
Jeez, Jibble.
Actually, no, we're a little short of that. Sorry, it's over budget.
Yeah, the curve is exponential. So as the enchantment goes up, like, a level 1 enchantment was like 400, a level 2 enchantment is like 2,000.
Okay.
I'm talking about an older system. level 3 enchantment was like 20,000, a level 4 enchantment was like 60,000, a level 5 enchantment was like 400,000, and a level 6 enchantment over 1 million. And so, because of the way the system balance, the plus 3s in this system are comparable to the plus 6s in the old system.
So, back to the plus 2s with the ability to summon. I do something druidic about it, something.
What kind of action do you want to spend to make it be in your hand if it's ever not in your hand?
What do you mean?
So, like, if it's on your belt and you want to swing a dagger, you can draw the dagger and swing it at the same time as part of the attack action. Or if you're running and you've got something in your, like on your person and you want it to be in your hand, you can draw it as part of the move action. But say you, if you want to pick something up to wield it after doing other things, it takes like an action to do it. Or a
Right, I
bonus
don't
action
mind
to
it
pick
being
it
an
up.
action.
You don't mind it being an action.
It's more to prevent it from being stolen.
Okay.
Or lost.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Cool. That'll get not in your bad. And this is any time or a limited number of times per.
What's the...
Making it a limited number of times per day will lower the cost.
If it's just for theft prevention, just like once a day could be good.
Keep it that point. Like,
Right.
since it doesn't really have all the other pluses of the Dragon Slayer, like this, with a once per day summon to hands as an action, that's going to be like 30,000 or less.
Okay.
Or 30,000. We're still
Right.
taking the critical plus.
Yeah. And... geez, what else? I want something... like... druid flavored. I can't think of anything.
Summon animals to you. Send animals away. Command animals to it.
No.
Attract monsters.
Um,
We can start the purple worm poison business. Just get that and attract all the purple worms in the Underdark to us.
store a monstrosity to be able to wild shape into, but you can swap it to other things, but only one at a time.
Oh, what are monstrosities?
Monstrosities are the things you're not normally allowed to turn into that are awesome. Like
I
griffins.
Yeah,
just-
I'd have to look them up to see exactly... Monstrosities, yetis? Wait, no.
Which is why it's like, store a monstrosity. You can change what monstrosity it is. You have to come into contact with the monstrosity you want to store. But you can do that.
Like,
That would be very unique and fairly powerful.
Ooh, yeah. Let me just have a look, see.
Don't fall asleep on me, Mal. We still got an hour to go.
That wasn't me yawning.
Don't fall asleep on me, Alex.
it's too bad what I want is far too expensive. If I wanted to go all out.
If you heard a yawn, it was me.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Why is everybody yawning at me?
You know what? Just so I can know what the number is. What would it take to be able to turn into a dragon? Like just a young dragon?
How many
10
millions of GP worth do you have?
Yeah. That's what I figured.
There's a reason dragons are dragons and not monstrosities.
I'm surprised I didn't hear something from Vendar about a specific item being made.
He has one.
He has a gift being made.
Gift. Wait, what is that again?
I don't know. He just
Just
had
a
to have a
gift.
gift being made, and it
It's
cost
a
75,000.
Or a Calcum cock ring.
Oh god.
Well, I'm surprised.
Purple worm cock ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Vendar's like, I want an item that makes purple worm poison for me every couple times a day.
I mean, I worked out a bow that it works similarly.
Oh.
I think it's
I
Much
did ask
better than
Tristan
that.
about that, and it's yeah, I like what we came up with.
still lets Vendar be creative.
How much was my armor again?
110,000.
Oh, okay, that was.
A lot.
It's not as much as Jebel's armor.
We could downgrade it a little. Doesn't even be that crazy. I'm not the most expensive. Jebel says, well, who's the next to the most expensive?
You're second place. Jebel's first place. And Jebel's gonna be first place by a fair bit because he's getting 2 items.
So selfish.
Well, it's a group thing. We could talk them down. But also, who's next after me?
After you, Raiken by 5 grand. Followed by Vendar, and then with me and Leah taking up the rear.
So there's a big jump between me and Vendar.
And Raiken.
How much would drop it by a +1 drop it down by Nalia? Just curious, just looking at my options here. I'm a conservative person. I can't help but think about it.
What do you have to do? How much would it cost to do what?
And instead of it being a +2 to be a +1.
Be a +1. Oh, it would save you money.
I'm a conservative person. I'm curious.
Your armor is currently 110, and
But
the
it's
Spellbreaker.
just if you try, like,
So it would drop to call it 60.
Really? The
In
plus
total?
ones cost that much?
They're exponential growth. So the first one costs a small amount, the second one costs more.
So
Also,
60
I'm
in total?
having my
Yeah,
current bow disenchanted, which Tristan said would give us 12,000 more residuum.
Yep. If you disenchant the Fireburst bow, you'll get 12,000.
How much would spell storage cost?
Spell storage.
Yeah.
Up to what level?
Hmm.
How much would it cost to get another bag of holding?
more than we have.
Bags of holding in other editions were not the most expensive items.
Let's figure out. I got another question for Nalia.
Bag the 4th edition bag of holding, which could hold 200 pounds or 20 cubes, was 1,000.
So I'll just work us down for like 7 of those.
What is the?
How much the bag of holding?
Yeah.
bag of holding 500 pounds. Or a volume of 64 cubic feet.
Like you're like a 1,000 item.
I would absolutely want to love one of those, and then I could carry the stuff that Leah doesn't like me carrying in our bag of holding.
Bags of holding for everybody?
Don't know if
Drop
we need one for
21,000
everybody.
GP bags of holding? Or, I guess 8,000.
But I would like a bag of holding, at least.
Wait, 18,000 for all the bags
to
of
get
holding
6 bags of
combined?
holding.
It's like nothing. You'd never run out of space.
So those are on the list now.
You guys are flush with cash.
No, we're not.
Well, you were.
All right. So my question for Nelly, while they're
Yep.
talking that real quick, is I'm also a firm believer. A sword that wasn't used or isn't used is wrong. So the cursed katana, how much will it give back? Or how much would it break down into? A couple thousand.
Does that mean that the bag of holding I have now will be truly mine?
Yep, sounds like
Yeah.
it.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're gonna have to
happy with that.
distribute some of that shit. Like I would like my poisons back.
Obviously. I'm not gonna carry your shit when you have enough space to carry it yourself.
Good, and you won't be any more complaining about me putting sulfur shit in there.
I'm very happy
Watch
with
as he
this.
puts, he's like, I finally have my own bag of holding. He dumps all his stuff in there, and then he puts all the powder in there, and then later he's like, alright, it's Tuesday now, I gotta put my shirt on. And he goes, what is that?
Man, I'm deaf to the smell at this point. I live in poison.
He just opened the bag and take a whiff every once in a while.
Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
That's
God,
the
what
smell
is
of
that?
victory right
Huh?
there.
What?
That's the smell of destruction.
That's how you
right
get
there.
strong. You huff in the poison gas.
So yeah, how much would that be back?
About 1,000.
About 1,000.
Call it 1,000.
You wanna know what? Yeah, I just to lessen the blow of the armor's cost, I'm gonna get the sword to be broke down to lessen the burden of a +2 piece of armor.
Fine, I'll just delete this whole story I wrote about the history of that blade.
1,000 or 2,000?
1,000.
You know, if it's such rich with history, 1,000 wasn't that much. No kidding.
Well,
No, I'm picking. No, it's just
weapons are significantly less expensive than armor in all the books.
that's fine. I just yeah. I have
Wait a
to.
minute. Lied.
Don't lie, Tristan. That's
I
rude.
definitely lied. It's because I lost my mind for a moment there. Where's
Better
this?
catch it.
That. Okay, so forgive me. The curse. Duct. Would give more than 1,000. It would give 4,000. I explained myself the having to look at the different pluses, like not 1-to-1, and then I still looked at them 1-to-1 just now. But yeah, weapons are like half. And again. Alright. Well.
So how much is Jebel's staff? Have we come to that yet?
Did he get old little baby? Now, he was asking me about spell storing, and I asked him what level spell he wanted to be able to store.
Yeah, and then everyone else started talking. But what are the prices for the per level per charge?
Did spell storing exist in 3.5, Sam?
I think it was in rings.
There is a ring of spell storage in 5.
Don't get another book.
The 3.5 player's handbook doesn't have magic items in it. That's the book you're pulling out. No, you probably can't hear me if you step away.
Just realized that would have been in the DMG, which I don't have a physical copy of.
So in 3.5, the ring of spell storing minor was 3 spell levels for 18,000. The regular one was 5 levels of spells for 50,000, and the major one was 10 levels of spells for 200,000. They were
right, but that was also far more versatile because you could put 3 first level castings in there as opposed to 1/3 level. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas this is more like put 1 spell in there up to this level, I would think.
Well, it just depends on how you want to do it. There are rings of spell storing that work the same way as Sam just described in 5th edition.
Are there?
Yep.
Three you said was 18,000?
In 3.5 it was 18,000, yeah.
And 5 was?
5 was 50,000. And then 10 was 200,000. The one in 5e is the 5 levels of spells.
5 levels.
For the item from the, like, as written.
What's its rarity?
Rare.
Rare. Interesting, I think it's 5 levels.
Rare requires attunement.
Rare and requires. And that's all it does. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Tag on 50,000 to the price to gain 5 levels of spell storage.
What does that mean?
It means that you can put up to 5 levels worth of spells in there, so it could be 5 first level spells, or it could be a 3rd level spell and a 2nd level spell, or 1 5th level spell, or a 1st level spell and a 4th level spell.
Okay. And the thing about, was it abominations? Monstrosities?
Monstrosities. You would get to store 1 monstrous form. You have to actually come into contact with it and touch the creature with the item staff.
Okay.
Absorb its form data. But then you could hold on to that indefinitely until you chose another one to absorb.
Yeah.
Which would then replace the previous one. Given that it's something that grows with you, I would say that one's probably, tag on 60.
Okay. I think spell storage. Spell storage is probably very handy.
Okay. So, do you still want to be able to summon it to your hands?
Yeah, that's I think is
And it's still +2s?
Yeah.
Once a day is an action. So with the spell storage, that'll be 140, or if you got the spell storage and the monstrosity, you'd be looking at 200.
now you put it up to a vote.
Let me put you this way: with 140, you alone are spending half of everything we're spending. You're
So
already
Derek's
being kind
voting
of
for
quick.
monstrosity.
So you're doing the 200?
That's what Derek's saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
Alright, 200.
It's the accent, Derek. I don't understand you sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Did you just say go for it?
Good, it's not just me who gets slack for the accent.
Gotta rip on the Americans too, because comparatively we have accents.
But yeah, I mean,
Americans got a
I
lot
said
of
it before
different
that Alex and Malachi sound the same to me.
Team same voice.
No, they literally do. Paper and Merp sound exactly the same to me. I can't tell those two apart.
I do not sound like Alex.
What he's saying is that white men look the
You
same,
sound a
and
little bit the same.
That's why Tristan gets it messed up.
it's gotta be why I get you mixed up. I don't know why. It's something about where I'm storing the names in my brain. They're just too close to each other in my boxes, and I just keep grabbing the wrong one. Because I mostly don't mix up other people's names.
Don't worry, my mom mixes up all of her children's names together with her boyfriend and the dog.
Oh man, does this mean that I'm
It's-
viewing
it's-
Alex and
it's
Malachi as
even-
my children?
She even called my brother their dog's name in the supermarket.
Alright, I would like to finish this shopping episode of Everybody Loves Raiken. I wanna know, Jebel, what you're buying.
Well, since it jumped up that much, I don't feel comfortable tacking on the extra 60 myself, so it's...
You could knock down to just +1. That might save some.
Man, you got all this money, what else are you gonna do with it? Are you letting them tell you not to spend it? Don't you deserve to be cool?
I'm serious when I said I'm opening it up to other people.
Never
I mean,
only
Raiken
It's
doesn't
only Derek.
doesn't care. Raiken doesn't care. He's not worried about it, and I mean, if you can help more with it, then that's just even better.
Oh, I could be a griffin.
You can be
You
Wendat.
could be my pet griffin.
You
There we
could
go.
be my
Ride you
pet
into
griffin.
battle. I like that idea. I want to ride Jebel in the battle.
This is reminding me of the first dungeon of Everybody Loves Raiken when we had Jebkin, because Jebel had transformed into a tiger, and Raiken was riding him. Man, it takes... I think you need to talk so that it stops picking up your air conditioner sound.
Yeah, I have been muting myself most of the time.
Yeah.
So I think when I unmute, it decides to...
Go full blast.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's fun. The nice thing about the spell storing is that you don't need to be attuned to it to cast a spell into it.
Oh.
Just to cast out of it. So, like...
Sam!
we could cast Wall of Force into it, and then that would mean that Jebel would be able to use Wall of Force. Just putting that out there. The fact that any spellcaster can cast a spell into it is useful.
I very much want him to be able to turn monstrosities so that I can ride Jebel in the battle.
Let me put it to you this.
Oh my
This must
God.
brings back to my original point of, do we want to try and save for an artifact? Or do we want to just spend it all now?
And maybe you won't even need an artifact if you make these items good enough.
Yeah, I could add more to my belt then.
And we're kind of searching for artifacts anyway. I wonder how much you'd get from disenchanting an artifact.
No.
You'd get a tap on the shoulder from a very angry god.
That would be a blasphemy to a god, and you don't want to piss off a god.
It's gotta find one that wasn't made by a god, like the Axe of the Dwarvish Lords.
You know, you could go back there and find it just to disenchant it, since it just got buried.
Yeah, if we think it's not destroyed, that would probably be worth the residual.
I'm not
Field
sure
trip
if we
back to
even
Braithen?
could.
Sorry, guys, we'll be back.
Where are you going, Podunk?
We're all just carrying shovels.
We'll just have Jebel turn into a rock elemental and go down. He can pick up his previous life's weapon.
I feel a connection to this, but I don't know why.
So, are we spending or are we saving? That's my question to the party here. Vindar, what's your opinion?
Blow your
I mean,
blow your wad. Blow
if we're
your
gonna blow
wad.
our wad, then I'll make armor too.
Blow the wad. Blow the wad. I'm a good influence.
Yeah, you are.
If we're gonna blow a wad here, I'm gonna sword.
I have one question. Earlier you said it was gonna be like 1.something million for a +3 magic item. Was that like an actual number?
Yeah, it's like 1.3 million.
Okay, then I am no longer of the opinion of saving, because I don't think we have enough if we saved every drop. Because
yeah.
if it's that much for just +3, we can forget making it an artifact.
So
Blow
how
our
much
wads.
would a piece would studded leather armor +2 studded leather armor that could make me invisible once a day or something cost?
With a plus what?
+2.
+2 for 2 pieces, probably like 200,000.
Invisibility per invisibility or per greater invisibility?
What's the difference?
One lets you attack, one doesn't.
So invisibility is a
Greater
longer
invisibility.
spell, but doesn't let you attack. Greater invisibility is a much shorter spell and lets you attack.
Greater invisibility.
What is the duration on greater? 1 minute?
Yeah,
1 minute.
1 minute concentration for the spell itself.
What level spell is that?
4th.
That's what I thought.
That one I know off the top of my head, because it's a personal favorite.
I was guessing it was 4. It sounded too much for 3.
And since Leah and I are on the bottom of the totem pole, I suppose we should think of additional items at this point.
If we're blowing the load, then I want to downgrade and get a sword.
How many times per day, Vendar?
How much for just once a day?
I would call it 180.
How much for twice a day?
I'd call it 300.
Is people comfortable with me spending 300 on that?
No.
Other than just once a day.
This was studded leather armor.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go for the Vorpal enchantment.
They said armor's more than weapons.
I guess I should probably just... Because the gift I have it's for Cyrus.
Oh, well
Oh, well then.
that actually is important.
And it
So
will
it's
require an
what I'm-
attunement slot, so...
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you like it.
So I'm guessing it's something along the lines of a tri-corner hat.
It's sequined.
Everybody loves sequins.
Sequin.
Half-hour warning.
It's bedazzled.
I've been keeping the secret. Am I a good girl?
No, you got a tattoo.
With a charge or something else.
You finally stopped itching. Alright, what's the weapon you want, Malachi?
It depends. If it needs a base, or if it's being created from nothing, and if I get to make detailed descriptions on how it's gonna look.
Oh yeah, you definitely do.
Oh god, okay. Oh god.
A quick question for the records here. How much was the armor?
I wrote it in the Snark chat.
I have
Snark.
question.
Yeah, what?
If you wanted to get a charge of a spell, second level spell, how much would that cost?
So you want the thing to effectively cast a second level spell by a charge per day, like this greater invisibility thing.
Yeah, like how much does that actually cost?
Once a day?
Yeah.
I think I'm adding 30.
Because
Whatever the base item was.
anyone who's interested, if you cast it, it's cast on a group of people.
60. Most of these things are like self-effect or like something that will affect an enemy in some way. Are you trying to buff the group?
No, the pass without trace just does
That buffs the group.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just what the spell does.
So, group stealth. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that just... Do you have... That's a ranger ability, I know. Do druids get it?
Druids, rangers...
Okay, so
Yeah.
why don't you just utilize your spell storing for that?
No, I was just wondering if anyone else was interested in it.
I mean,
I could do
to me, it just seems like a waste of money to get something that does that specifically when you've already got something that would let you do it anyway.
Oh yeah, no, I can do it. Just in case anyone else. Because I know, like, Vendar's big into stealth.
But he just slapped down on the table, let me spend almost 200,000 on this armor that will let me go invisible for a minute.
Okay.
Which is an entire combat.
Think of all the surprise attacks I'll be able to do now.
I mean, they will
Every
be...
combat, you're like, dead, instant death.
Not necessarily every combat, it's once a
Probably
day.
not, no. Yeah, well, it's once a day, and it would only be if I got the jump on, if I knew they were there in the first place, too, and
But,
I'd have to cast it and then sneak in and do it. But still, a lot more often than I do now. Surprise attack is an auto crit.
Tristan, I have a very important question.
Mhm.
You know how I thought something was really cool with Leader?
Yeah.
And I want to know how expensive it would be, even if it's a couple charges or like a charge. I want my own Mjolnir. In the sense of a sword.
Something
So
that you
where-
can throw and pull it back to you?
or just to where I can be like, return to me, and
So
it's
he can. That'd be like if you go in a place where they need to take your weapons, you just give them your weapons, and then you can still just bring your weapon back.
exactly.
The,
And I have a name for it, and it's gonna be the Soaring Dragon.
No, Yukikaze has to call it Mjolnir.
Oh,
Mjolnir.
You're asking for one that will physically fly through the air at
Yeah,
you?
I mean, usually these things just teleport back to you, because otherwise it requires, like, me actually thinking how the battlefield looks, and does it try to go through walls, or does it round corners, and no one wants to think about that.
That's how the Axe of Dwarvish Lords worked when you threw it. It would return, like, fly back through the air to your hand.
Right. But it also came back instantaneously, and only if it had been thrown. If it was dropped or taken, you couldn't make it come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so would that be an expensive thing to have it come back to me, even like just appearing back to me?
So if you make it it teleporting back to you if it's ever not with you is one thing, and it flying back to you after being thrown is a different thing. Like, they're two different enchantments, basically. They can both be there, but they're two different enchantments.
Okay, what would be the difference in Residuum for either or?
So same question as I asked Jebel. If you want it to teleport back to your hand wherever it is, whenever you want, what kind of action do you want to spend to make it come back? And, you know, the answer could be, I would prefer to spend a reaction, or a bonus action, or a non-action. A non-action is going to be incredibly expensive.
No, I would say, can you use it? Oh, yeah, can you use reaction and action ones outside of combat, right? Or no, is that only during?
I mean, it would just be both. Like, it would always be reaction, but outside of combat, who cares if you spent a reaction?
That's true. Okay. I want to say a lot of my stuff uses reaction, but anyways, I think it'd still be. I think
a couple of your things use reaction, but not all of them. Honestly, a lot of them are just, if you hit, you do this thing for free. Your maneuvers.
Well, no, there are quite a few that use my reaction. Commanding strike and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways,
Commander strike in this edition makes me so sad.
I think it'd be reasonable to put it under reaction.
Okay.
I want to say that as a reasonable thing. If it was reaction, what would it be?
How many times a day? Or unlimited?
Can we do 5 times a day? Maybe unlimited?
Alright, reaction's expensive, 5 times a day, and unlimited. What's the plus bonus on this? Is it a +1, a +2, or a +3?
+1. We're not going to go crazy. I'm already putting something stupid on it, so... just a +1. What are you doing alongside for? Was that Cyrus?
No, I'm busy over here typing up the running tabs for each person.
Oh.
So, I would say if it was, as a reaction, unlimited, with a +1 sword, you'd be looking at 120,000.
Okay.
If it was 5 times a day, say that's 75.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is do the 5 times a day +1 and drop my armor down to +1. And that will be what I would request from the group. So, my grand total would be, what, 745? or 14.5 total. If I was right, or no, it was 60. Was it 60 or 70 for the armor at +1?
To make the armor +1, it was going to be 6.
Okay, so 13, around 13,000 or 1,300,000 for me. If that's acceptable from everyone for 2 items.
What's 1,300,000?
I mean, it would be 1.3 million, so that's wrong.
I said, sorry, 130.
130,000.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I was right there with you, Thomas. Just like, no, wait.
It's just freaking. I'm thinking of all the stuff I could do with the sword if I have it. So, if that's acceptable to everyone, I would like to make a +1 Spellbreaker breastplate and a +1 Soaring Dragon katana.
Mjolnir.
No, it's gonna be Soaring Dragon and you shove it in a sock in it. I'm not hearing any answers if everyone's okay with that.
Raiken has already said he's fine with everything.
Okay.
I mean, I got everything I want. I'm fine with everybody else blowing the rest of it.
Alright, well that's what I'm gonna do because I'm not too greedy. Not saying anyone is, I'm just saying that's me, my choice of what I want.
A question about the Dragon Slayer thing. It says on critical 1d6 per plus. Per plus what?
Per plus.
So what? 1d6 for a +1, 2d6 for a +2, 3d6.
Ah, okay. Oh, nice.
I've guessed cats meow sound the same in Ireland do in America.
Might have a slight accent.
Well, I mean, I had a Siamese cat, and she was so much louder than the other cats.
That's racist. I don't think Siam exists anymore.
Oh, but Siamese cats do.
Oh, that's... My sister's cat is Canadian.
My grandma had Burmese cats that she paid like 10 grand per cat for because apparently with the Burmese cats, they were all like wiped out, and there were only 2 left on that they were bringing across the ocean on the boat, and the male died in the way. So they thought it was going to be the end of the breed. But then
Burmese cats constrictors, just like the snakes.
But then it turned out the female was pregnant with her male brother's litter. So then they had a bunch of inbred cats, and so every single Burmese cat comes from that single litter.
Oh.
So they were inbred as fuck. They were adorable, but God, they had issues.
I mean, that's just how cats work. The blood relation doesn't matter to them.
Thomas, if your sister's cat is Canadian, does it go rar, eh?
Meow meow, eh?
Meow, meow, eh?
God damn it.
No, every time it knocks...
And then it knocks something off the table and goes, sorry, meow.
Yeah,
Sorry, meow.
don't apologize.
It's okay to be shitty to Canadians.
Oh.
Okay. So, I just want to make sure I have the list up to date here before we have to sign off here in a few minutes. 2 Dragon Slayer foci, 1 staff for Jebel, that's +2, costing 200,000. with the ability to absorb elementals, not elementals, absorb monstrosities and transform into them and be summoned and something else like and spell storing. And Jibbal's armor of +2, which helps him survive in different climates. Vendar's gift that I presume will boost my charisma, but I don't actually know. I'd love to know so I can make my own decisions here.
Boost your intelligence so you can just turn around and say,
yes.
"Oh, this was a mistake."
It will bring your charisma to 19. It is. I just replicated the enchantment on my hat.
Cool. There's Raiken's belt, which gives him +2 strength. There's the bands of Night Eye for Cyrus, Raiken, Vindar, and Yukikaze. There's Yukikaze's +1 Spellbreaker. We have disassembled Vindar's Firebow. Made 6 bags of holding. We've disassembled Yukikaze's Bleeder, and Yukikaze made a Mjolnir-esque +1 sword.
No!
You're right, it's Mjolnir-esque.
Oh, it's only 5 times a day. It's not as good
It's
as
the Soaring Dragon, guys. Come on.
I just didn't remember what it was called. Sorry, I was busy typing when he named it.
I'm good. Tristan,
What?
I gotta,
Soaring Dragon.
I gotta do the Japanese name for it though.
For a grand total of spending 747,000.
So we still have plenty to go.
Yeah, that's only like half the shit we got.
Yeah, that's not even half.
What can I add to my belt?
Gives you +2 strength and +2 inches.
Oh god, no.
Is there anything else you want, Vindar, since your item's not even for you?
How much
Oh,
would
no,
it
wait, I
put
forgot about your
me to put
armor. Your
Revivify
armor's
on
also
my
in
belt?
there.
I mean, you
this
can
is
make
armor
it
on
spell
this one?
storing.
I forgot to add in Vindar's armor because it wasn't on the list because it got dropped by accident. So
Apparently
make
they
that a grand total of like 900,000 or so.
How much to put every resistance on my belt?
Infinite amounts of money.
Is there something that's higher than expertise?
I don't believe so.
Well, I forgot about your armor. So you're aware.
I'm surprised that Vendar wasn't pushing for a essentially the Chime of Opening, but
Good point. Can I get lockpicks that my magic lockpicks back? Can I make lockpicks like that?
What level spell is Knock?
Knock is a 2nd level spell.
Yeah, I mean, they'd only cost like 80,000?
So I will say those lockpicks were better than Knock.
Yeah, they didn't make a
Knock
sound.
makes a very large noise.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think they'd only be like 80,000.
Can I get those too?
They get 100 since they were not limited use.
If you got those, that you'd certainly run your budget.
Blow the wad.
Blow the wad. Blow the wad.
Well, if everyone is satisfied with a certain amount, we could always nudge up my pluses to mine. But
So we've crossed the 1 million mark.
Okay, already? Okay.
It's a good thing that
with the
Laraman
chief
didn't
offenders
want
being
anything.
Vendar and Jubble.
Keep pointing out things I want.
So those two are done. People who have spent the least are Sam, but he doesn't really want anything. Leah, Cyrus, and then Raiken. All of which have spent under 100,000, whereas everyone else has spent over that.
I'm fine with a cool new wand. And everyone getting a bag of holding, that is very satisfying to me.
I like that as well.
Hmm.
We never have to want for space again.
I'm sure you will find a way.
Okay.
So, Tristan, it's like
But I need all of these
80,000
fish.
per plus 2.
1,000 plus 2. For armor, that's like the base price for a plus 2 armor. What are you talking about?
I mean, I was looking and seeing what if I could add anything else to
To the belt?
Yeah.
I mean, so right now you have plus 2 strength unlimited. What are you trying to... You want plus 2 to something else on top of that?
Yeah, I think I'll just leave the belt how it is.
Because those are definitely gonna, like, start, logarithmically increasing.
I think I'm good. There's nothing that I'm really gonna... that I can think of that I want.
Okay.
So, here's a dumb
You don't want a
question.
magic axe called the Bad Axe?
I can't do anything else.
Okay. Go ahead, Derek.
I am 90% sure this is out of our price range, but what would it take to be able to cast True Polymorph like once a week?
Once a week?
So as to make the price more manageable.
So, could she even make that? True Polymorph is a 9th level spell, isn't it?
It is. It's one I want, and it's not on the sorcerer's spell list.
I'll make sure to get it once we hit 9th level spells. Just to spite you.
But then you can make me a dragon!
I could.
I don't
or
know.
Counterpoint.
Or he can make you a worm.
What was that, Tristan?
In the millions.
In the millions. Okay. On a much more reasonable note, what would it take to be able to cast, like, Sending once per day, or to be able to cast it with my own spell slots?
Sending stones allow you to do that, right?
Sending stones.
Yeah,
are
but that's to a
what-
specific, or to a specific person.
Right. So it would basically just be, 10 times as expensive as whatever a sending stone is, which I think are common magic items.
They're uncommon. The only common magic items
Sorry.
are the ones that are fun, but
Yeah. I realize my mistake. But yeah, they're basically the lowest level of useful magic item. And don't start with me about how the capable wing is useful. Shut up.
Is it intimidating?
In any event, so, like, uncommon magic item. The cast sending day, I'd say, like, 8,000.
And how much if I wanted to be able to also, if I want to cast it more than once in a day, if I was to try and spin my own spell slots?
If you wanted to use your own spell slots for it.
Yeah, like if I powered it more or less, but it gave me the ability to cast the spell.
5,000?
So 5,000 extra on top of like the one freebie a day. So like,
No, it would be one or the other.
Okay, then 5,000. I'll mark that down for me. Would it require attunement?
I mean, since it's effectively teaching you the spell, I feel like it should, but I mean, it's also not a great use of an attunement slot.
How much for one that doesn't require attunement?
12,000?
I feel that the nature of the battery one attunement makes sense. Because, like, you're connected to it and powering it.
Well, and it's, yeah,
What-
and it's the only reason it gets added to the spell list as well. It's basically adding it to the spell list is what I mean to say. So it's like it's part of you. Whereas the other one is just like, I have this thing in my pocket, I can push the button and it does a thing. But that's it. So, yeah, no, I would think, I think that it would just require attunement.
Okay, then I'll just take the once a day version, because if that
8,000.
doesn't require attunement.
Alright, 8,000. We'll let you send to anybody you know.
Which is the important part, so now I can have more conversations with Dad.
Blackwoods don't require attunement, right? They didn't. Pretty sure they didn't before.
Which shouldn't?
My lockpicks.
What about them? I'm sorry, I was typing a thing.
They don't need to be attuned, right?
The old ones did not.
Okay, good.
They just were inherently magic.
Okay.
That's why they're super expensive.
But they're awesome. I am
Yeah.
such a good thief.
That's why they're super expensive. Because they're awesome. Alright, so, I guess I should have seen this coming. But I had definitely underestimated how it would go. But I'm hoping that people are satisfied with their ability to have some customization.
I think it's ridiculous that we've got to do this.
I mean, it would have reduced the meaningfulness of giving you that residuum for beating that temple if you couldn't do anything with it. You just had to wait until you were in the presence of someone or figured out on your own that you could use it.
I vote that we leave it here, unless somebody really, really needs something, so that we can use the rest for casting spells.
I'm okay with that.
Because I don't know if anybody's explored that aspect of it.
So that grand total of 1,038,000, is that including all the pluses?
Yes, those have also been deducted from people's running tabs.
Right.
Just
So
why vendors isn't like an even number.
So I
Are we
can remove
still-
that now, or?
are we still leaving the Yukikaze's armor here, or is he not?
Yes,
because we're not-
the armor is staying with Nalia.
Okay.
My question is, why? There's no longer a reason.
Yeah, that's why.
Because I thought she still needed more time to do research.
Yeah, but we don't have enough residuum to, and we're
I mean,
not
it
gonna
was
have enough residuum.
still promised to her that she would have an artifact to study.
Yeah,
That is-
here he is.
Fair enough.
Until the time we need it, and we could hopefully be able to come and get it, because Sam has a way to Larmendis has a way to contact Nalia so he can communicate to her and get a way to get it to us.
Okay.
Uh,
Let her have it for the 10 days.
in in regards to your question, Leah, it's that number except for. Let me give you the number you need to subtract because that's including some of the stuff you've already removed. Alright, I've added a net total down there for you, Guaco. That should be what you need to subtract. I've removed the, like, 90 or so thousand from Vendar's gift and the 9-eye bracelets that you already took care of.
Okay. So that leaves us with a total of 462,000.
So a little under a pound.
Yeah.
Well. That's a lot of stuff.
But we're so much more badass now.
Are we good then?
And now my armor class is going to be 19. That's a rogue. I love it.
Nice. So, award of most expensive party member goes to Jibble. Give him a round.
Blow the wad. Blow the wad. Blow the wad. It's 10:31, so I will call it there. So we are now in the aftergame. Alex, you can go to bed. We won't do any more roleplay, but people can stay and ask questions about items and stuff so that we're more prepared for next time. And please talk to me about anything that's confusing in the intervening week so that we are all prepared for next week.
Alright, good night.
Tristan, my request that you pin the bill.
Yeah. Alright, good night, Alex.